Modell's Sporting Goods is an online sporting goods and related apparel retailer that started in 1889 and closed their physical stores in 2020. Thank you for your suggestion.
No one pictures me as a jock. Go figure. But thanks to Modell's sporting goods youth selection, I've changed all that. Modell's has a million of these, 10 zillion of these. The brand name equipment I need to compete in any sport at low, low prices.
Like select Adidas court and running shoes. Save 20%.
And what prices?
Thanks, Shorty.
Hey, come back here. That's my ball. Stop him. Modell sporting goods. Stop brand name.
Morris Modell was a Hungarian immigrant who arrived in New York City in the early 1880s, finding work selling clothes to sailors on shore leave. In 1889, he established his store on the Lower Manhattan side on Cortlandt Street. Modell supplied outfits for Theodore Roosevelt's Rough Riders during the Spanish-American War and bought surplus army clothing after the war. All of his 7 sons worked in the store, but it was Henry who inherited the business after World War I. He joined his father's company after service in World War I as an infantryman in France. He became the company's president in 1920 and chairman in 1937. During this time, the business became known as Henry Modell Company. Modell had stocked up on Army surplus merchandise again after World War I, enjoying record growth during the Great Depression because of its cut-rate prices. Modell's business also boomed during World War II when the firm again outfitted soldiers. Its chairman, who was the commander of the Army Legion Post, announced shortly after the end of the war that he would sell the company's entire stock of menswear, which was then in short supply, to war veterans exclusively. In March 1946, the firm opened the Modell Veteran Training Center on Lower Broadway. Stocked with surplus war merchandise, this outlet also offered 6 months of on-the-job paid training to veterans. Modell's was creatively combating the peacetime shortage of civilian goods by recycling shell cases into lamp bases, protective covering against attacks into low-priced emergency raincoats, helmets into toys, surplus khaki blankets into children's snowsuits, and Air Force trousers into slippers. By 1963, Henry Modell Company consisted of 6 stores, including 2 Modell's Shoppers World outlets in East Meadow, Long Island, and in New Jersey, which functioned as discount department stores. That same year, the company purchased the bankrupt 8-store DeVega Stores Corporation sporting goods chain for $311,000. Modell's closed 2 DeVega locations and restaffed the retained stores with young veterans. In 1975, the Modell's chain, now chiefly run by William Modell, consisted of 10 stores in New York City and Long Island with sales in 1974 of $10.5 million. Their business strategy was plain and simple. As one member in upper management put it, they are offered to us by the big chains and the manufacturers who want to lighten their inventories for ready cash, and we pay the savings on to our customers. The company's forte was high volume sales of a relatively narrow margin of staple items such as jeans, casual shoes, and work clothing, as well as sporting goods. Stores were plain but often strategically placed in high-traffic locations, such as Midtown Manhattan's 42nd Street and downtown Brooklyn's Fulton Street. By 1986, Henry Modell & Company was operating 20 stores in the metropolitan area, including 1 in New Jersey. Sales of its sporting goods and apparel, menswear, athletic footwear, and luggage exceeded $50 million in 1985. By this time, William Modell's sons, Michael and Mitchell, were vice presidents in the firm. Michael was once quoted as saying, "Our relationship with our customers is based on 2 things. Never lose sight of who our customer is and always give him good value. And a relationship with our suppliers is based on loyalty. Our vendors know that although we may negotiate hard on the price, Once we agree to pay, that's as good as gold. The company sold 3 Modell's Shoppers World stores to Home Depot in 1988, turning the business into a real estate company serving as a landlord to the other stores. It had purchased bankrupt Philadelphia-based Pauley Brothers the previous year, and it converted other Shoppers World outlets to sporting goods stores. The company began a major renovation of its no-frills stores and an expansion of its merchandise selection in 1991. By 1995, the chain, now known as Modell Sporting Goods, had 48 outlets, of which 32 were in the New York metropolitan area and 16 in and around Philadelphia. Annual sales were estimated at about $140 million. Modell's Sporting Goods was being run by Michael Modell. In 1994, he revealed that the chain was fending off mass marketers such as Walmart and Sports Authority by guaranteeing not only to meet the competitor's price, but to rebate 25% of the difference between the two prices. Modell's kept its prices low by such means as purchasing 6-month-old sneaker styles for sale to customers willing to forego the latest Air Jordans. In 1996, Modell Sporting Goods expanded from 52 to 67 stores by purchasing for about $2.5 million, 15 outlets in New Jersey, Baltimore, and the Washington, D.C. metropolitan areas from bankrupt Herman's World of Sporting Goods, which had been one of Modell's larger competitors. The newly expanded chain consisted of larger stores averaging 15 to 20,000 square feet in size and carried more merchandise, including 400 footwear styles and 200 popular brands in licensed apparel, including Nike and Reebok. Modell's Sporting Goods was also making inner-city locations profitable by stocking a streetwise eclectic merchandise mix that included trendy clothing and accessories, as well as sporting goods, and featuring a catchy "Gotta Go to Moe's" jingle in radio and television commercials. Many of its stores paid tribute to appropriate sports heroes. The Brooklyn Shopping Center location wore Dodgers memorabilia, and the East Meadow store celebrated hockey's Long Island-based New York Islanders. Concept stores, such as the 3 Manhattan outlets, carried what was described as in-store miniature boutiques. By this time, the chain had found room for women's apparel. Modell's Sporting Goods opened 5 Washington, D.C. area stores in 1996 in former Herman's locations and opened 4 additional area outlets in 1997. By the late 1990s, Modell's was spending $20 million annually on advertising its wares on radio and television, in newspapers and at ballparks such as Yankee Stadium, where its stadium and arena signs could be seen by television viewers as well as ticket holders. Modell's at its peak operated 152 stores in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, as well as Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, District of Columbia, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Modell's flagship store was located at 234 West 42nd Street near Times Square. But over the next 20 years, Modell's was feeling the effects financially. Modell's wrestled with more competition from Target, Walmart, and Kohl's, all of which were sprucing up their activewear lines. Amazon was stepping up its assortments too, and at the high end, shoppers had options like Lululemon and Gap's Athleta. Competitors like Sports Authority and Sports Chalet had gone out of business. In February of 2020, the company announced that they would close 24 underperforming stores in an effort to stave off bankruptcy. On March 11, 2020, Modell's Sporting Goods declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection and announced that it would permanently close all of its remaining stores. However, liquidation sales were disrupted due to the COVID-19 pandemic, forcing all brick-and-mortar stores to temporarily close. Once Modell's locations began reopening, liquidation sales continued and all stores were closed by the end of August 2020. That same day, all of the company's assets were acquired by Retail E-commerce Ventures for $3.6 million, and they announced that the company would be coming back as a digital-only brand. In 2023, Retail E-commerce Ventures would look into potentially filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy themselves. So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.
Bringing back memories from the good old days. That's super cool, man.